Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Movie Mortis Podcast where Movie Madness lives. My name is Nick. Everybody else, introduce yourself.
I'm Drew.
And Tim.
And today's we're going to be talking about the wonderful world of marketing, specifically in the movie business.
Well, yeah, because what this podcast is about.
Indeed it is.
So yeah, marketing a film is extremely important. That's how you get eyes on your film.
Yeah.
And so something I would like to talk about first is the more traditional form of marketing, like trailers and posters. Those are like the most common forms of marketing. Um, do you guys have a favorite movie trailer that you guys like that
I
comes
was
to
actually
mind?
just thinking about this yesterday, and my brain kind of went to Chronicle.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like it kind of already
What?
set up. Okay, this is where the movie takes place. This is what this role is about. Now it does kind of show that it does show like it doesn't show everything, but it does show that something's about to hit something that shit's gonna hit the fan in the movie, but it doesn't show you when. And then like it does do something weird where it kind of just rewinds the entire film in fast motion, but it doesn't like do the whole plot. But and eventually cuts to the part where they find the meteorite that gives them their powers.
Right, so it, because the thing what a trailer is supposed to do is that it's supposed to, set up what the movie's about, build anticipation, but also not give too many details away, which I think is a big problem in a lot of movie trailers these
Oh
days.
yeah,
But
I
the
actually
best
saw
movie
it.
trailers,
You
but
first.
but the best movie trailers get you excited for the movie that that you're watching the trailer for,
Mm-hmm.
but not making it so that you don't need to see the movie, that you don't feel like you need to see the movie, which I think is a big problem. And a lot of trailers these days, the worst offender of this, in my opinion, is the studio Blumhouse. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the new Wolfman movie,
I didn't. No,
but
sorry.
okay, because it basically gives away the Wolfman design and the transformation and stuff like that, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is stupid. Um, Also, the Halloween Kills trailer as well.
Oh, it did.
They ended. Oh yeah! They basically gave away the whole plot of the movie
Oh
in that
damn.
trailer.
Um,
Um,
I think Abigail did that too because I actually watched Abigail last week,
mhm,
and I
mhm.
wanted to see the trailer for comparison, but I noticed the trailer gave away so much. I'm like, holy smokeroni!
Yeah, I don't remember if I watched the trailer for Abigail before seeing that
I
movie.
I didn't I only watched it because of word of mouth, and by word of mouth I meant you recommended it to me, so I watched it, and then I'm like, and I'm like, I'll see what the trailer has to say about this because like every single plot description is Abigail's hiding something sinister, and oh, she's a vampire.
Yep.
Couldn't tell.
Um,
Tim, what are some of your favorite trailers? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I believe this is the end. You remember that movie?
That's the movie of all those celebrities dealing with the end of the world, right?
Yes, it is.
I
And
only saw
I
commercials. I
find
didn't
it
see the
funny that
trailer.
the trailer has some unused footage from the final film, and I find it funny that people like they use like footage that's not even the actual movie. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I hate it
yeah,
when trailers.
a lot of a lot of productions do shoot certain shots and stuff just for the trailer. It's a fairly it is somewhat common, but I definitely can understand why it'd be a bit annoying.
They did that with the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie. Like the official trailer, the very beginning of it has a scene that never made it into the final cut. Like I'm.
That's
This
a
is like
blast from
one.
the
This is like a
past.
1 second. This is not like a 1 second blink and you'll miss it kind of thing. This they showcase this thing throughout the very beginning of the trailer, and it never made it throughout the final cut.
I'm trying to remember that because I remember when I was in middle school, I was a big Diary of a Wimpy Kid fan. But damn, that's throwing
So
such
the
a
scene in
blank.
question was Greg's mom, Susan, who basically
Hmm.
Greg's telling her, "Please do not make a big scene while wishing me well on my first day of school." Walks out of the car. Mom honks the horn. Have a nice day, sweetie. Everybody laughs, and then
Oh,
cut.
okay. Now I remember. Now I remember.
That
Okay, now I
scene, like
remember.
I even have the DVD. I think I still. I don't know. Do I still have? Yeah, I still have the DVD copy of Diary of a Wimpy Kid from way back when. But
I
like
I probably do too. But
But
I can't find it.
like, and they have deleted scenes, and that scene is in the deleted scenes.
I wonder because I wonder if maybe they intended to use that in the movie when they were making the trailer, but then maybe at some point in post production they cut it out and they
Probably.
left it in the trailer because maybe the trailer was already getting close to done or something. Because you have to remember these trailers are made kind of simultaneously with the movie's post production, so
Mm.
things like that can happen too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where it's like maybe there's a scene they intended to use in the movie, but then for whatever reason during editing they decided to cut it,
Yeah.
but then it's never taken out of the trailer because oftentimes the people making the trailer are a completely different part of the company, part of the studio, and so maybe that is not the communication. Maybe they don't even deem it as that important to not cut that scene from the trailer.
Hmm. Heck of a change,
Like,
and I think I'm gonna guess why they probably took it out was because like they wanted to establish some kind of like first humiliation for Greg or something, but they kind of already did that. If you see the movie, they already did that with Roderick's prank.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
funny too, is that if you bought the book, they made a Diary of a Movie Kid movie book where it's really a book discussing behind the scenes and how they audition.
I used to have that book. Yeah, I used to have
Yeah,
that book. Yeah,
they actually show a scene that they also talk about a scene that never made it to the film, but they talked about it anyways when you meet Fregley's mom, who looks like a freaking horror movie character. Well, she doesn't look like one, but she sounds like one. And yet, it didn't show in the trailer, but it's in the deleted scenes on DVD and Blu-ray.
Well, hey, as long as they include it in the deleted scenes.
Oh yeah. And while we're on the topic of trailers, I think we have to address the Kangaroo Jack trailer. That
Do we
movie
have
was
to,
very, according to many. Well, I'm sorry, you first.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, that movie meant that so the poster for that movie and the trailer showcased the hip hop singing kangaroo, even though that movie that was literally a dream sequence that lasted 5 minutes in the whole film. The rest of the film was about a mafia plot, and it was rated PG, meant for families.
Okay. It's been forever since I've seen. You're bringing up movies that I haven't seen in at least a decade. So it's like I'm drawing a blank because I don't watch those kind of movies anymore. Personally,
I never watched Kangaroo Jack, but I saw the direct to DVD sequel, Good Day USA. It was, I don't know.
I didn't. Totally forgot that even existed.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh my god.
I'll say one of my favorite classic trailers. I would say is the trailer for the original Alien. You ever seen that trailer? It's
I have
basically
actually, yeah, I think so. It's just silent. It's just nothing but silence and the little some kind of siren blaring going. Woo, woo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you just see people running in these different spaceships and stuff,
Yeah,
and it's like you never see the xenomorph, which again, that's what if you're making a horror movie, if you're making some sort of a creature feature or whatever, never show the creature in the trailer.
that's what
Because that's how you
Cloverfield
build
did.
because that's a big thing. That's how you help build anticipation is because your mind doesn't know what the creature is.
Yeah,
It's like because it's like what you don't see is scarier than what you do because your brain has to fill in the blanks, and it can be, and who knows what your brain can come up with.
that was the entire premise of Cloverfield.
Yeah.
And that one J.J. Abrams movie, we were talking about J.J. before this podcast recorded, Super 8,
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Super 8, really?
Yeah, they never showed the creature until the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm more specifically talking about I'm assuming the trailer didn't show the creature either, right?
No, it didn't. It did not show the creature.
Yeah. One of the other very unique trailers that is obviously like you would think it would be like, wow, why that sounds so stupid, but it works really well. This is a very, very old movie. But the trailer for the original Psycho, when it's just Alfred Hitchcock walking around the sets and vaguely speaking about what happens in the movie, because he gives you just enough to where it's like, okay, you're interested, but then he's like, let's go over here.
It's funny.
And it's like,
He did something similar for the birds. I remember watching the birds trailer a long time ago, and like he actually showed him like going up to a bird cage and the bird kind of snipping his fingers. Like, oh, why would they do that? And then like it cuts to like titles of birds flying everywhere, going Alfred Hitchcock presents the birds or whatever.
yeah, I think because if you know anything about the original Cycle, you'll know that Alfred Hitchcock had to self-finance a lot of that movie because the studios didn't want to fund it due to the dark subject matter, and so he had a lot riding on this movie, and so he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make this trailer where it's very unique and it's very like
Mm-hmm.
it does so much to draw the viewer in, but it gives you nothing. It tells you everything about the movie, but yet also it tells you nothing about the movie. And it's like that's what makes it so effective. Is that you don't even see anything from the actual movie. Even the shot at the end with the girl in the shower, that's not Janet Leigh. That's Vera Miles, I believe, who
Mm.
plays her sister in that movie. And it's like that's not even an actual shot from the movie.
Yeah.
Like it's
Um.
so they didn't use a second of scenes from the movie. And also, Psycho is another movie where it's like, did you guys know that that's a movie that where like theaters were told not to let anybody in late to the
I
movie?
read about that. I read about that.
Yeah, yeah. So they Alfred Hitchcock had all these theaters agree to have this policy where they wouldn't let anybody in to the movie after it started if you arrived late. Because previously, before that, it's like they would let you come in like 15 minutes late or whatever into a
Hmm.
movie screening. And with Psycho, they're like, no, this has to be seen from the beginning, and he didn't want anybody being spoiled about the twist and all that.
Hmm.
It's like there's a video that you can watch on YouTube. I think it was uploaded by the official Oscars account. That's
Hmm.
basically an instructional video from the 1960s when that movie came out, and it's like it it's this whole detailed thing about how about the this policy because it was a big thing. That's what they used to market the movie, and it helped drew people in because they were like because this kind of policy was so unique at the time, and so people thought it's like, wow, what kind of movie is this? Where what's so horrible or like disturbing about this movie where they're not letting anybody in late? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was just so unique at the time,
Yeah,
and
and
it
I
didn't
actually
help it
read some of
notice.
that. Hitchcock didn't have any critics screenings. He wanted the critics to watch the movie with the general audiences.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of critics trashed the movie when it first came out.
Yeah. I mean, Todd Phillips tried. I don't know why Todd Phillips didn't have a critic screening for Joker 2, but that clearly backfired on him when that
Yeah,
movie came out. But that's another topic for another day, I guess.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I guess one trailer that I haven't seen in forever, but I remember it didn't show a lot in terms of story. It made it look like a generic rags to riches movie, 8 Mile.
I haven't seen that movie.
And it's a neat movie. It's more of a drama about what is basically just Eminem. I mean, even Honest Trailers called it Eminem the movie. I mean, and going back to trailers, the entire trailer is literally just the song. No, not the entire song, but just the first half of "Lose Yourself." You know that song.
Lose yourself.
His palms are
No,
sweaty.
I don't
Knees
know that
weak.
song.
Are you never heard of that? You're not even in passing.
I might have heard it in passing. I just don't remember.
Mom spaghetti. Does that sound familiar?
Nope.
Oh, his palms are sweaty.
I mean,
Knees weak. Arms are.
I love spaghetti. It's a great food. But
Well, that line became a meme, like so much so that someone edited like the song starts off so normal. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti, but like the rest of the song is just mom spaghetti repeated. Mom spaghetti, mom spaghetti. Like, yeah, that's kind of like his most popular song. It's because of that movie too. Um, but I don't. Yeah, they didn't show a lot in that movie except for the main conflict of Eminem living a rough life in a in a trailer park. I almost said trailer trash, but that's kind of what they set it out to be. It's like the slums of Detroit in a trailer park.
Yeah, I mean, well, like we've kind of talked about at length, is that that's kind of what a trailer should do.
Yeah,
Glue
and
you
then
in a little bit, and then
the rest of the trailer is
wait,
just random snapshots of the movie with just the song "Lose Yourself" playing in the background. Like, there's not a lot. I mean, you can try and put together what the film is, but you don't know what the movie ends or whatever.
yeah, you have to go see the movie. And I'm assuming, yeah, I don't know why I didn't realize this, but I'm assuming the music in that trailer is Eminem songs, right? I'm assuming
A little
Once
bit of
Again is an
Eminem
Eminem
songs.
song,
There's
right?
also there's it just basically just a lot of rap songs.
Because I don't like rap, so that's probably why I
Yes.
don't notice.
Little
I
trivia
don't
about
know.
Drew. He does not like rap.
Yeah, I've rock and metal all the way, baby.
Yeah, same here. But
Um,
I do know a good hip hop tune when I hear it.
anyways,
But yeah, trailers,
yeah,
trailers.
trailers.
Tim, you got any other noteworthy trailers that you thought were really cool?
Oh well, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, just give me a second. Just well, I haven't seen too much trailers, but I know the Sonic 3 trailers were really cool. So of course, I mean, everybody was anticipating those, and I was like, hell yeah, I want to see this movie with my friends. So why not? Just
What did you like about the
really enjoyed
trailer?
the Sonic 3 trailer. Shadow and what the underlying dark tones behind it.
Hmm.
You know, I liked it when it would start getting serious and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely stood out because like the trailer. I think this goes with a lot of kids' movies, but the trailer for Sonic 3 was like really quippy and quirky. But the only serious parts were when Shadow was on screen. Oh, great! That movie's turning me into a Shadow the Hedgehog apologist. But but yeah, I noticed that when I first saw the trailers, that the only time I ever got like serious was when Shadow was on screen. Really?
Yeah, yeah. Just I just find it, it should be worth noting that more kids' movies should be like, more serious and all that. So more edgy, darker and stuff, which is what makes them more appealing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
Yeah,
guess, but
I
like,
mean, this can be another discussion for another day. But I think, you know, I think people kind of underestimate kids' ability to handle a little bit of dark subject, just a little bit.
oh yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to go overboard, obviously,
I mean,
but
Ronald Dahl was like the king of that stuff. He's the author for Willy Wonka, Matilda,
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
the
Again,
BFG.
it's a lot of again, this is going to be a totally different topic for another podcast, but a lot of famous kid stories are actually really dark.
That's true. Like especially the Grimm fairy tales.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And,
that's true.
and even
That's
though Harry
true.
Potter was marketed as a kid's book, there's some dark stuff in there. I mean, hell, when spoiler alert for Goblet of Fire, when Cedric died, I thought that shit was hardcore.
All right.
But
Anyways,
anyways,
back to trailers.
Trailers. I
One
want to
one
since we're
one
on the
last
top. You
one
first.
last trailer. I guess since we're on the topic of movies that are somewhat made for kids, um, I still remember to this day, the second teaser for The Force Awakens when that came out,
Hmm.
um, is, and maybe just because of the way that the music is utilized in that, but
Yeah.
that's kind of what I mean by like it gives you like a visual sort of feel for what the
Mm-hmm.
movie is about and everything. Like you understand, okay, it's a Star Wars movie,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't give you much. That doesn't give you much about the plot, doesn't give you much about the
Yeah.
characters. I mean, you see Han Solo at the end,
Yeah.
and
You
that's
see
really
Han
the
Solo,
only.
Chewbacca, Leia. Well, I actually remember the Force Awakens teaser. But dude, keep talking. Keep talking. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep talking.
But yeah, you gave you glimpses of the original trilogy characters, and it put the new characters first, in the center, which is what it should have done, because the movie was about the new characters.
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
it
The
gives you
the
little
the
glimpses
first.
of the it gave you little glimpses of the original trilogy characters, and it didn't tell you much about the plot.
Yeah.
So you didn't know. Obviously, spoiler alert: the movie ended up being very similar to A New Hope,
Hmm.
but you couldn't tell that by the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. I did. I didn't. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember the very first image of the Force Awakens was like Finn in his stormtrooper armor popping up and being exhausted. It makes you wonder. Oh, well, are we gonna see a stormtrooper POV or something like that? Oh my gosh! Like when we get to Star Wars Day, man, we all got a
Star
lot
Wars
to say
month.
about Star Wars.
Star Wars month.
Star
Remember?
Wars, yeah.
um, but yeah, I think a lot of the trailers for the sequel trilogy have been pretty good. But do you know what trailer is really interesting to watch? The
Which
original Star Wars teaser trailer back from 1976.
I saw it. I saw it. It was a pretty long. Trailers back then were pretty freaking long. Like I watched a bunch of old trailers recently.
It actually wasn't that long. It's only like a little over a minute long. Here, let me
Maybe.
go to YouTube here and look at it
Oh, because like
because I don't remember. I mean, I'm not gonna play it, but I just want to see how long it is.
I'm not just saying that for Star Wars. I mean
Star
a lot of trailers around
Wars.
like the '60s, '70s, and all that. Like you
Yeah,
had not just.
trailers were longer than that one. So it looks like the Star Wars original trailer was 2 minutes.
Hmm,
But what's cool is that what's interesting about that is that that trailer was made before like any of the effects were added in.
really, I
So
didn't notice that.
yeah, so it looks so you can tell that it's the footage isn't finished necessarily.
Hmm.
Um, and I even remember reading a few accounts from when that trailer came out back in '76. That was the year before the movie came out. Um, People who saw that trailer thought that it looked like the dumbest movie ever made.
Damn,
Yeah, people were like, "What the hell is this?" Like
that's
people
crazy.
thought, people were just confused and like, "What the hell is this?" But no, of course, nobody could predict that it would go on to become the biggest movie ever at the
And start
time.
an entire multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Yeah, and it's like it's so cool. It's such a unique experience going to watch those old trailers because it kind of transports you to a different time almost.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like that should be with any movie really, because I remember
Yeah,
finishing Taxi Driver, and I'm just like, whoa, I'm back in present day. What do you know?
yeah.
But I have two things to say. Uh, One of them has to do with old trailers. The other one, I want to bring it back to Sonic because I think this has to do with something with trailers. All right, believe me, this is
Okay.
not like movie trailers, not video game. I know Sonic's a video game character, but believe me, I think we might expand on something. So,
Hmm.
Sonic Movie 1, the first trailer came out, everyone hated how Sonic looked.
Yeah, I remember that.
And eventually, like, that, and not only that, people just found it, people only liked Jim Carrey in that trailer. They hated everything else about it. Like, they didn't like Gangster's Paradise being used, they didn't like, of
Hmm.
course, Sonic's model. But
Yeah, that
then,
was the big
so,
thing.
yeah. So, and yet I remember seeing that trailer play in a theater as well. After seeing it, I was like, oh wow, well they're still keeping this trailer in the theaters, and they even spoiled the mid credit scene in the first trailer because like Doctor Eggman, Jim Carrey's Eggman, he looked all well groomed and stuff, but by the end of the trailer, you see him bald and like with a much more uh, dirty mustache. So it's like, well, did you just spoil the end of the movie? But then after the thing was fixed, they gave us a much better trailer where not only was Sonic's model fixed, but they didn't spoil the very end of the movie. They didn't give us the ugly Eggman, and we instead of Gangster's Paradise, we got Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones.
All right, I can respect the Ramones being in there.
Yeah.
Was there something else you were gonna say? You said that they're gonna.
Well, I just wonder if you had any initial thoughts on like that crazy thing of like the Sonic marketing and how the first trailer everyone wanted the
Yeah,
model to be
dude,
fixed.
I'm not really a Sonic fan, so there's nothing really I can add to that conversation. If
All
I'm
right,
being
that's fine.
honest.
And then the second one, I want to say old trailers were really long. Like, not just Star Wars, but like I saw the Taxi Driver trailer, and it's just like a very
Yeah,
long trailer where you see Robert De Niro walking and just talking to people, and you hear Niro going, "The taxi driver is da 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 da" or whatever. It's been a while
yeah.
since I
I mean that Alfred Hitchcock Psycho trailer that we talked about earlier, like that was like 5 minutes long.
I thought it was
Like,
3. Damn.
no, it was like 5 minutes long. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, why don't I go look?
I guess the other old
Trailer
trailer that I think is
60.
pretty freaking long is the Crazies, the original
Actually,
one.
actually, actually, according to this one video, it's about 6 minutes. Actually, 6:31.
Hmm. Interesting.
So yeah, it's actually longer than I remembered it being.
Hmm. But yeah, the original anyways, the original Crazies film from 1973 by George A. Romero. That trailer like was also kind of long, and it all like a lot of old movies had narrators in them. A lot of old movie
Yeah,
trailers.
that was very common back then to have narrators as
Yeah.
um,
The
commentating.
Exorcist had one.
Hmm.
Um, I know this is I know I'm gonna jump forward a bit in time to like the 90s and mid 2000s, but Fight Club didn't have a narrator, but oddly enough, the 2005 Ryan Gosling thriller Stay did have a narrator. So I just find it
Right.
weird how
Yeah, yeah. You
they're
still you still do see that from time to time. I'd say you see it more often these days with kids' movies, but sometimes you do it in other movies too. Sometimes it's not as common as it was. And to be honest, I think having a narrator can it can be it can be hit or miss. You know,
oh yeah.
because remember we were talking about earlier about trailers giving details away. You could
Mm-hmm.
easily end up doing that with a narrator
Mm-hmm.
if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Speaking of, while we're still on trailers, this just
Hmm.
came back into my memory. This just hit me like a bus. Well, not
Okay.
lit, but Lilo and Stitch, the original animated film,
Hmm.
had these series of teasers where Stitch would go into all these classic Disney movies and ruin famous scenes.
That's kind
Like
of funny.
yeah, like there's the dance scene in Beauty and the Beast where they're like dancing, and then like Stitch like drops the freaking chandelier on the floor and just kills the whole mood. And freaking Belle walks up saying, "Go get your own
Oh,
movie."
I think I remember that. I think I remember seeing that on like one of the DVD releases like
Wait,
way back
were
when I was
these
a little
were
kid.
these scenes actually animated or what?
They were actually animated, Tim. This wasn't like some low effort like Adult Swim thing where they like copied Space Ghost onto like a background thing. They legit animated an entire teaser of Stitch ruining movies.
And the characters' reactions to Stitch ruining
Yes.
it, or is
Yeah,
that?
I mean, it's been forever since I've
And
last
this
seen him,
was
but I remember these things. Like, I think there's even one of Aladdin where he's singing like "I'll show you the world," and freaking like Stitch comes into his spaceship, and Aladdin's just pissed off. I'm sorry, these are all funny in
and this was
hindsight.
and this was still in the original art styles
Yeah,
of.
the original art style and everything. I mean, this is when Disney did not give up on 2D either, so it's just like,
Yeah, this was before they started doing live action remakes of all their movies. So
oh yeah,
And
and
this was back in the early 2000s, wasn't it?
oh yeah, oh yeah, and I just want to double check on something too. But here was one of the theatrical release posters. I'm gonna post it in chat. This was an
okay,
actual theatrical trailer for Lilo
poster.
and Stitch. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they're all just looking at him like, what the hell is this guy, man? And Pumbaa looks absolutely horrified. To be fair, I would too if a freaking like alien dog came into my movie.
Well, well. You know what? This brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, which
Oh yeah.
is movie posters.
Oh.
You know, something I do kind of want to get off my chest is that something I don't like a lot of modern movie posters. And do you want to know why that is?
Why?
Because so many of them are that generic collage of main characters. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's
Yeah.
just a collage of the main characters. Like that inherently like isn't a bad design choice. It's
Mm-hmm.
just so boring, especially since it's so common. It's like every freaking major movie has that kind of collage style poster. It was fine several years ago when that design style
Oh yeah.
was still somewhat new, but now it's like every poster looks the same nowadays. because it's all that same collage style. And a lot of movies, their alternate poster, their teaser posters or whatever, look cooler than the actual poster that they end up choosing for the main release.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, definitely.
Like for Scream 6, for example, I'm going to use that as an example. The the actual poster was a collage of the main characters with New York City and Ghostface in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But the original poster was Ghostface in the subway window.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that is so much better than this stupid collage. Scream 5 had that too. Uh, and it's just like it just yeah, I don't like it. It's so
Yeah.
boring and common.
Does that Stitch poster I just sent you, is that like something similar to what you're talking about, or is that just something
Not
different?
really, not really. This one is kind of I mean it is unique because you have like Stitch in the foreground. Um and then you have like all these Disney characters. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's one of them, but because most of those characters are not from Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, it's not. It's,
So
it's I feel like this is just Disney kind of they're trying to do their own, like, this is an odd one out kind of thing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's what I'm getting at from this. Is just like, oh, this is not a
I mean,
cutesy
I mean, I
animal.
mean,
This is
hell, Disney nowadays is a ginormous perpetrator of that art style because they did that with Star Wars, the Star Wars sequels, as well as with Rogue One and the spin-off movies. They
oh
do
yeah,
that with
and
all the Marvel
Marvel.
movies.
Can't
They
forget
do that
about
with all the
Marvel.
Marvel movies. They do it with their live-action remakes.
Oh yeah, they are. Except Cinderella. That one is just the main actress for Cinderella just kind of walking and turning her back.
Yeah, and Disney aren't the only studio that does that,
Oh
but
yeah, a ton of studios are. I mean, the Sonic movies are guilty of that.
yeah.
The Sonic movies are guilty of that. The Mario movie did it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everyone's doing it, but
It's like
Mar-
it's like think about it. Think about. I mean, look. I know the people watching on YouTube, it's audio only, so they can't see it. But I've got a Nightmare on Elm Street poster on my wall. Look at how unique that looks.
yeah, that's practically iconic.
Yeah, it's exactly. One of the articles I sent you guys has a quote from the article where they were like, can you, when you're designing a movie poster, can you describe the movie in a single image?
Hmm.
That does it. Because you see Nancy, the main character, in bed. You have the hands coming up. You can tell it's a movie centered around dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and the dark art style kind of looks. It tells you that it's a horror movie that's about dreams. You know,
There's one movie poster that is. I don't know if I told you this before, Drew. There's one movie poster that has actually kind of stuck with me as a kid. I forgot what this movie's title is, but I swear
mm-hmm.
on all that is right, this movie poster uh had like one freaky aspect of that. So let me describe it. You're seeing a POV in a building,
Okay,
and there's two guys. One old guy who just kind of standing there looking at the window, and another guy he looks like he looks like he just walked in with his gun like held with two hands. He's like slowly, he looks like he's in the middle of walking or pivoting himself, and out that window you see tons and tons of like humans being abducted by some kind of spaceship. Like, think of like that scene from World War Z, where like all the zombies build like a mountain or something, but
mm-hmm.
instead of zombies building a mountain, it's humans getting abducted by aliens. Like, I swear this was a
that
real movie poster.
that sounds familiar,
I
but
don't remember what this
I
is,
don't
but
remember the title of the movie.
I know it had to do with aliens though. It's like mid 2000s to late 2010s, I believe.
Here,
Tim,
let me.
does this ring a bell?
Was it here? Let me. I have a
It,
theory.
it's not the TV show Falling Skies. This was an actual movie.
Was
I'm looking.
it? I don't know why, but it wasn't District 9, was it?
It wasn't District 9. No, District 9 was
Okay.
which, by the way, I will talk about District 9 this episode. I think there's an interesting story behind it. But anyways, let's figure out this mystery movie.
Yeah, I have no idea what that was. Yeah.
I'm just going to look up sci-fi movies in 2000, which probably is not going to help, but
Yeah, just 2000 sci-fi movie posters, I guess.
what was, because I swear this That, like, I mean, that movie may have been forgettable and mediocre, but the fact I'm still able to remember that poster, it pretty much speaks volumes, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I'm looking at a bunch of different movie posters here, and none of them are kind of look like what you described.
'Cause, I swear this movie existed. I'm not going schizo, I swear. Unless this is a Mandela effect.
It could be.
Shoot. Oh my gosh. Well,
Because I'm
we
not
could
finding
spend
anything.
the. I need
And
to. I really
I
gotta.
don't want to spend the I don't want to spend the entire episode
Yeah.
theorizing about that movie because there's other things to talk about.
I agree. Anyone want to say anything else about movie posters?
Movie posters are, they're an art form in and of itself. And a lot of them, I mean, there's a reason that people have like movie posters and stuff on their wall like I do.
Yeah. Nice.
Um,
I'm hoping I can get a. I'm hoping I can
I
get a movie
wanna,
poster on
I
my wall
wanna,
pretty soon.
I do want to talk to you guys about a couple of my favorite movie posters. I think Jaws, which is my favorite movie of all time, by the way, is an
Mm-hmm.
excellent poster because you just see the shark coming up with the girl on the top on surface.
Oh
Again, it
yeah.
describes the movie in one image. There's actually a poster that article actually used as an example of a poster that describes the movie in one image.
Mm-hmm.
Um, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh yeah.
It's you see it, it's the figure. You see a guy, but it's like almost in silhouette, and there's this thing glowing from his face, which and you see the snow around him, and it kind of sets up this mood. The original Star Wars poster as well, that kind of has an early example of that collage style that I just
I,
told you about, but it
I
still
don't know
looks
why,
unique.
but
It has
that
a
movie.
unique.
Sorry, you
Yeah,
first.
it does have a unique art style though. It has a very unique art style though, because I think a lot of this was drawn by I know Ralph McQuarrie did the original illustrations of Star Wars. I wonder if he did this poster though. I don't know if he did,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a cool poster because it has like Darth Vader in the background and there's the Death Star and you have Luke and Leia and Han and everybody on the poster.
Oh yeah.
Um, Silence
Um.
of the Lambs also a good poster.
Yeah.
Very simple. Jurassic Park is another simple poster. You just see the logo for the park itself on a black background.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Um.
there's a lot of really cool movie posters out there.
Yeah. I actually think. You ever seen the movie Let Me In, the 2010 horror film? Um. It's a
No, I
remake.
don't
It's a
think so.
remake of another. It's a remake of a. It's a remake of the Swedish film, not the right one. But that movie poster, that's another one that stuck with me as a kid, just for how creepy it looked. And it's essentially just it's essentially, and I'm not making this up by the way. I can post it in chat if you want, but um, it's essentially this like I'm supposed is the vampire girl kind of lying in a fetal position upside down with like a behind a blood red carpet. So I think there is an eye catching thing with minimalism going on.
Yeah, another cool poster is the poster for Full Metal Jacket, which
Oh
is
yeah, that
it's a Vietnam War helmet on a white background, but you have all these like illustrations, and you have the Born to Kill writing on the helmet and the peace symbol. So again, it kind of sets up what the movie is kind of about because the movie is about war and all that and stuff.
oh yeah.
Um,
I think I got three other movie posters I'd
okay,
like to talk about.
okay,
Battle Los Angeles. The movie poster is just like you see a guy on a surfboard, or no, two people on the beach, one guy on a surfboard, one girl, like, and they're all looking up at the sky, seeing all these like meteorites or whatever come down, and it's all orange and gray. That kind of just sets the whole tone of the movie for you right there.
hmm
Like, if you remember that movie Battle LA,
I vaguely I never saw it, but I do
I
vaguely
saw
remember
so much
seeing
marketing for that thing; it was
commercials and stuff.
unreal. I thought it was a Transformers ripoff, to be honest. But to be fair, like a lot of like, to be fair, that was kind of the style at the time with action movies, especially sci-fi.
Yep, yep.
But and then the other one, No Country for Old Men. So essentially, you see a guy. I'm gonna describe it, or I can post it in chat. Let me know what you think of this. Of course, I have to plug in one of my favorite films ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. Here's the original theatrical poster. The DVD cover is kind of similar, but this was the theatrical poster for No Country for Old Men.
Ooh, I
Look in
like
chat.
that poster. I like that
Yeah.
poster.
So you have like the protagonist, played by Josh Brolin, running away with the money, and like the guy overseeing you is
Yeah.
Anton Chigurh, who is, I
Mm-hmm.
argue, one of the greatest villains in all of cinema.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm kind of ashamed to admit this, but I still haven't seen that movie.
Oh, dude, if you do, we need to do a podcast episode on it. I love this film. I really do. I think this is one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's on my watch list.
this poster I think is super cool. The DVD cover
It
kind of
is
does
cool, yeah.
something. The DVD cover is very different because like they have basically this, but instead of like Anton Chigurh's face, they have like the title placed in the middle. The Josh Brolin running is on the bottom, and on the DVD cover you have the three faces of Tommy Lee Jones, Anton Chigurh, and Josh Brolin.
All right.
So, but yeah, I think this is a cool. This is a cool poster.
It
And
is
just
a
an
cool
overall
poster
cool
because
movie. And then,
again, it shows you what the movie is about in one image.
yeah. And then there was one more poster I was thinking about, but I just it's blanking out on me right now. But since this is another Coen Brothers film, Fargo, it is like a stylized poster where it looks like a knitted quilt, but on it is a dead body lying in blood with like a little wrench in the snow. I'm gonna send
Hold
that
on, I'm
one in
looking
chat
at.
too.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the I'm looking at it right now.
Not the TV
Yeah,
show,
with
but the movie, not the TV show.
yeah. So Fargo with the guy in the red sweater on the ground with the
Yeah,
car
that's
flipped over car in the background.
yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
and
Again, it's a unique image that is eye catching.
yeah.
That's what a poster should be.
I think a lot of the Coen Brothers movies are good at doing that because, like, I don't know, just the ones I bought up recently: No Country for Old Men, Fargo, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and freaking. In fact, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Like, I mean, the regional ones are different, but like the freaking pretty much every poster for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is the same. It's just three guys in those like black and white crime suits in chains running away from something, and they're not looking at the camera; they're running away. Yeah, and of course there's Hail Caesar, which is probably their most minimal one yet. I'm sorry, I'm geeking about. I love the Coen Brothers. I'm geeking out the Coen Brothers. Anyways, yeah,
Well, hey, this is where you can geek out about the Coen Brothers if you want.
yeah. We should do an episode on the Coen Brothers because they are one of my
need,
favorite
I need,
directors.
yeah, I need to see more of their movies. So
Yeah. No Country for Old Men is one of them. That's like the most
that's
quintessential one.
that's the big one I still need to see.
And it just got Criterion is going to do their own Criterion release of it too.
Yeah, not to get super off topic, but I feel like that's another podcast episode that we could do where it's like we can all admit our embarrassing cinema blind spots.
What do you mean?
Like movies that we haven't seen, like famous movies that we haven't seen that we're kind of ashamed that we haven't seen.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Anyways,
Tim, do you have any thoughts on posters? You've been pretty quiet. Like,
yeah.
got a favorite movie poster?
I find it funny that most of the posters don't even represent what they're actually doing on screen. Like there's not a like what you see on the poster like doesn't really reflect on the film, and you don't actually see what the poster reflects in the film. Like you don't actually see the poster. How do I say this? Like you see what the people are doing in the poster. You don't see them doing in the film itself. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it just feels odd.
Can you name an example of this?
Example.
Train to Busan.
Train to Busan.
Oh,
I need to see that movie. I need to see Train to Busan. It's a foreign film.
Yeah,
I need to see that movie.
It's another movie on my watch list.
Yeah.
But I've heard very good things about that movie.
Same. There's rumored to be a remake of that film coming soon.
Yeah, an American remake because I guess studios think that Americans don't want to read subtitles. But anyways.
Yeah.
Again, another
it's
topic.
that some of the characters, half the characters don't survive.
Oh,
and yet the
spoilers!
poster
Dude,
does
don't
stop.
spoil it.
Spoiler alert, bro! I'm sorry. We all want to see that movie. Like just say it
sorry.
doesn't follow the plot.
I
Like, I'm
watched it
thinking of
during COVID.
It's all good.
But you see what I'm saying? Like it all just, that some of the posters are just inaccurate to what's actually going on, and I get it's for promotional purposes, but it's just like it feels off that it's just what the characters sometimes do. It's not actually reflected in the movie, so which is weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something that
that is
happens
a
too.
little strange, honestly. Again, Kangaroo Jack. The entire poster is a hip hop singing kangaroo wearing a red hoodie and sunglasses. Only is seen in 5 minutes of the film. I'm sorry, that film's gonna go down in infamy. Oh, who am I kidding? It has gone down in infamy as the worst marketing thing ever.
I remember Kangaroo Jack, but I remember only seeing the animated version on a bootleg DVD that my grandma pirated or I don't know, but I remember seeing
I
an
saw it on
animated
TV.
version.
But anyways, are we ready to move on from posters, or do we have more to talk about with posters?
So last week, Nick, you teased us with a marketing story that nearly bankrupted a studio.
Well, it didn't bankrupt it, but it got him in so much trouble that the CEO had to step down. In that movie,
Well-
I'm not kidding you when I say it's Tim. Oh gosh, Tim left. Tim, get over here. You got to hear this story, man. Oh my gosh,
hold
Tim. Please, you got to hear this story. Okay. This movie, I kid you not, is Aqua Teen Hunger Force : Movie Force for film for theaters. The Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. I'm not kidding you. That marketing campaign is very infamous, and I'm surprised it's not talked about more. But
all right,
what they did.
I am unfamiliar with this, but I am intrigued.
So one of the marketing stunts is that they made these like little light bright like toy. You know what light brights are, right?
Yeah.
They make a little light brights of these of the characters, the Moonanites, which are characters on the show, and they basically look like 8-bit freaking teraflops.
Ignignats and so
yeah. Tim's probably familiar with Aqua Teen, but they started having these light brights around big cities like L.A., New York, and where our story takes place, Boston. Now this was around 2007, and some people saw the Moonanite bright lights and they thought it was a bomb threat. So the city went into a state of emergency, a panic, because they thought it was a bomb threat, a terrorist act waiting to happen.
Okay.
And eventually, the Cartoon Network, the company responsible for it, said, no, it's not. The city, there was a bunch of lawsuits, and the guy who helped out with well, his name is Zebler. I don't know the guy's full name. I just wrote his name down on a sticky note. Sorry, no offense to the guy. I'm pretty sure he's cool, but the city also put blame on him, and he didn't want to talk about the controversy. He tried to avoid all interviews, but that only got him in more hot water, and so he had to do a bunch of community service for the city. And the CEO of Cartoon Network at the time, I don't know who it was, but he stepped down and got replaced with Stuart Snyder. Yeah, that's how bad it was. It caused an entire CEO to step down, and then sometime down the line, Aqua Teen, that was the thing. Like a movie marketing stunt went wrong and thought it was a bomb threat, and it was only in Boston though. And mind you, this was in 2007. This was way before the Boston bombing, by the way. Yeah. Boston bombing happened in 2013. I had to look that up to make sure there wasn't any ties.
2012. That was 2012, dude.
I thought, but what's even more strange is that Aqua Teen wanted to make an episode making fun of that situation, but it never got finished. They scrapped the episode mid-production.
I wouldn't be surprised if
it would have been banned.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Cartoon Network higher ups that canceled the episode rather than the people working on the show.
Yeah, I mean, however, it did leak, but the episode is very unfinished. Tons of animations are missing. Some sound effects are missing. it did leak, and allegedly executives said that if the episode were to leak, they would cancel the whole show. But um, that is just a rumor, though. They'd never can. I mean, even though it did leak, the show was going to end anyway. So, like, it had nothing to do with like the episode leaking. Aqua Teen just kind of ran its course, and it's time to end the show.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the story I was excited to share. The Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie caused a bomb scare in Boston, and that got the studio in so much trouble, the CEO stepped down. And the guy responsible for it was almost deemed a criminal, but the city kind of forgave him and said, "Hey, can you help us out with this light show?" Like, I'm not kidding. Like, he actually helped out with a light show, and when the city officials asked us about it, they said, "Oh, we're a forgiving city. We're a forgiving city."
Do you know what that reminds me of? This is not movies, but the when Activision was marketing Black Ops 3 back in 2015, they decided to change the Call of Duty Twitter account into some fake news account where it's like you can still see like the at Call of Duty handle, but it was like World News or something kind of generic like that. And so they would actually send out fake alerts about uh, terrorist attacks that happened in the game. You can
That's
see how that
crazy.
would be a problem. Like
That is absolutely insane.
that was the absolute dumbest marketing thing ever. Like, I don't know who thought that would be a good idea. Because like if someone
My
random,
bet would
yeah,
my
like
bet would be
if
John
some
Romero.
if some random like person was scrolling Twitter and saw that, because a lot of the some of the events in the game take place in Singapore, and it's like if someone saw that who like wasn't super familiar with Call of Duty or Black Ops 3, they would think there's some shit's going down in Singapore.
It's
So
crazy.
yeah, the Activision eventually took it all down and had to apologize, but that's one of those just like I don't know how they thought that would work out.
Mm.
But hey, it got publicity, got eyes on the game, so I guess
Yeah.
it ended up kind of working.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just wanted to circle back to Aqua Teen real quick and mention that every single city they did the light bright thing in, they were fine with it. It's just Boston that threw a state of emergency, not every other city, just Boston. But anyways, back to other movie marketing stunts.
Do you know? I'm sure this is something I kind of wanted to talk about heading into this, but are you guys familiar with how the Blair Witch Project was marketed?
Yes, I am. Tim, you?
That was the so that was the first movie where the marketing was entirely through the internet. And so the people who made the movie basically sent out over the internet like fake missing person ads and all these like weird blog entries about the Blair Witch and stuff like that. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. There's whole like videos and stuff that you can find about it. But it's a very interesting case of, you know, of I guess I can call it cyber marketing. I guess what you can call it. Internet marketing.
I remember people doing parodies of Blair Witch Project for certain. So
Yeah, I remember the parodies of Blair Witch, but I know I actually watched a video briefly about the Blair Witch marketing where they made like Fox documentaries about the people who went missing, and they even had a missing poster of the people.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was talking about. I think it got so bad, because people genuinely thought that these people were missing and all that, that the actors eventually had to make a public appearance just to set it straight that hey, we're not missing. This is all a marketing thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember reading about that honestly, and it was crazy. It was crazy how they did that, and
It's a very, it's a very. I think it's interesting because it's kind of a creative way to market a movie, especially
oh yeah,
since that movie was made for basically nothing. Like but that was the very definition of a micro budget movie,
mm,
and so they didn't have access to any forms of traditional marketing like posters and trailers and
mm-hmm,
stuff, and
yeah,
as well or billboard advertisements or anything like that.
mm-hmm.
So they had to market it through this very conventional way. And the movie ended up being one of the most profitable movies of all time.
Oh yeah.
So
What's funny when you mention small marketing stunts, Chronicle only had like one or two commercials, but what the director did is that they dressed up RC planes as members of the cast because in the movie they fly, and they just flew said planes around New York City. Like they made like a little cardboard cutout of the cast and characters, taped them on the RC planes, and just flew them out in the city. That actually happened.
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And then I guess one of which I mentioned to you before, Drew, but I don't know if I told you this before, Tim, but District 9, so there's two ways District 9 marketed their movie. They had a very interesting marketing campaign. So the first one was like, if you go to a movie theater, if you go to use the restroom, you see like, this restroom is for humans only, no aliens allowed, or this water fountain's for humans only, no aliens allowed, this exit's for humans only, no this seat. Like they kind of did like what I can best describe as Jim Crow aliens, you know?
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting marketing. I have a feeling today that would go over so horribly nowadays.
Oh yeah, definitely,
But back in 2009, I think when that movie came out,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that seems very much of its time, you know.
Oh
That
yeah,
seems like a very 2000s way to market the movie.
I
But
had to do
that
more
would go over.
research on.
Yeah,
Sorry, you first.
that man. Just think of the internet shitstorm that would create if that happened today. If they tried to do
Man.
that today.
Oh yeah, that would not go well. But
No.
I wanted to say, I actually wanted to do more research on it because I'm like, okay, I can't be the one who remembers, but they District 9 did more than just like fake signs. They at San Diego Comic-Con they actually started handing out recruitment flyers for like the military in the film, and then they had a fake website. Cool. They had a fake website dedicated to like said humans or something, kind of like a very weird I want to say Starship Trooper-esque thing where they're like documenting the military stunts and even showcased the short film, which the film was based on. Yeah, District 9 is based on a short film.
Yeah, that reminds me. Scream 3, I believe there was this marketing thing with that where that movie takes place in Hollywood, and it involves a major movie studio because they're producing the Stab movies, which is like the in-universe Scream movies essentially. And so the studios in real life set up a fake website for Sunrise Studios, which is the studio in the movie, and you could look at like fake actors, fake movies, and all this sort of stuff.
That is really cool.
It is cool, yeah.
That is really cool. While we're on the topic of horror movies, I got three horror movie marketing stunts that I thought were really cool.
All right.
Well, one of which was really cool, one of which was controversial, and the other one is not very well documented, but there is proof that it exists. But anyways,
okay.
Sorry, Tim, did you need to say something?
I didn't say anything. Just
Oh, okay. Drew called your name like, oh shit, was Tim gonna say something?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
my bad. I might be going schizo. But anyways, the three horror movie marketings: the cool one, the controversial one, and then the one that barely did anything because but there is proof that exists. There is proof that it existed.
Nick, quit stalling. Let's hear him.
All right, let's hear it. Okay. So the first one I thought was cool. The remake of Carrie. Are you familiar with the Carrie remake from like 20? So what they did is that they kind of made their own. They made a fake coffee shop where they had one random customer attached to a stuntman attached to like a freaking wire, and they have a bunch of like animatronics to move tables. So how it went is that a bunch of people thought they were having a normal day at a coffee shop, and then and they have like these hidden cameras everywhere, so obviously to capture the reactions. And essentially the girl's upset that coffee spilled on her computer, and the guy's just being careless, and the girl's just like, how about you go away, pushes the guy up against the wall, the guy goes flying and slams, audience is freaking out, and then the girl like freaks out. Coffee tables start moving away from her like a little forced telekinesis. Bookshelves start falling, and like you could see everyone and every other like random customer in a coffee shop looking scared and just like oh my gosh, a fight's gonna break down. Like essentially it was just such a mini episode of Candid Camera or Impractical Jokers. That's literally one way that the
Yeah,
Carrie
yeah,
remake marketing.
yeah, because that makes sense because Carrie herself has telekinetic powers.
Yeah. And now the
Um,
controversial one. Sorry, do you want to say something?
what's the controversial one?
The Nun. It was for mobile phones only. So
Okay.
basically, what would happen is that it would display the iOS volume thing going down, not the old one where,
Mm-hmm.
not the new one where you just have like a little bar, but if in
Yeah,
old
yeah,
Apple products, the volume
yeah,
button was displayed. So yes, the volume button was going down. You think, oh, what the hell? Something's wrong with my phone. You turn it up. You get jump scared by the nun, and then the title, the movie title appears saying "Go see the nun," and that actually
yeah.
got removed for violating YouTube's policies of shocking content, and not to mention just pretty
Yeah.
much ear raped everyone who viewed the ad.
I remember hearing
Oh
about that.
wait,
Yeah.
there was a jump scare of the nun on what kind of video?
So on YouTube mobile, the basically the ad would start with your volume being turned down, or it wasn't just YouTube mobile. It was just any mobile phone device. Like your volume would start turning down, your volume would go crazy. Like what the hell? I'm not doing anything. So once you turned it all the way down, it would trick you into turning up your volume. But then boom, jump scare. You get jump scared by the nun, and then it says go see the nun. And
Followed
that
by a
ad
very shrill scream as well.
like this isn't some PNG. This is. Are you familiar with the movie The Nun, Tim?
No, just
You were basically scared by like this ghost nun or something. Drew, have you seen The Nun? I didn't see it, but I know it exists.
Yeah, it's part of the Conjuring universe. I haven't seen it. I have the whole Conjuring series on Blu-ray.
Interesting, but
I haven't
essentially,
seen them, but
yeah,
they're on my list.
essentially you were just jump scared by the ghost nun, all for turning
But
up your volume
I
and
know who the nun character is, obviously.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Essentially, you just got jump scared by the nun, and if you actually turned up your volume up, you'd get like ear raped or something.
Gee, I wonder. I wonder what could have gone wrong there, especially with people with like heart conditions or something.
Oh yeah. And now the third one, this one, so this one's not very well documented, but The Thing, the 2011 prequel,
Yeah.
had this weird marketing stunt where they created a fake YouTube channel, and essentially they had clickbait titles like "Hot Girl Tiny in Bikini," and right when you think you're about to see something, the tentacle monster from The Thing jumps out of your computer screen, like it breaks the thing. Now it doesn't work anymore, but
Mhm.
essentially it would essentially it was supposed to be a video prank. It was supposed to be a video prank. Basically, you'd create a fake YouTube link, send it to your friends, and then they get jump scared by like the thing. And now, here's the thing: when you look it up, you won't find anything, but you will actually no, you will find a gaming forum talking about it. And this was also documented by a YouTuber who did an entire video about internet screamers. I'm not kidding.
Internet screamers?
Yeah, it's like the scary maze game, the freaking
Oh,
ghost
okay. Oh,
car
yeah.
video.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm not kidding. Like again, this is the only proof we have of it. The gaming forum that talked about it. And again, if you click on the link, it doesn't work anymore. But because it's an old movie, and
Yeah.
yeah, the only archive we have is the guy who documented internet screamers. I don't know if you want me to name drop his YouTube channel if you want, but you want me to?
Sure.
Magic Mush.
I have no idea who that is.
He's a guy. He's a guy who likes Donkey Kong. I'll say that much.
Oh,
But anyways,
okay.
but yeah, the thing, the thing, the 2001 prequel of The Thing, it bombed at the box office, so not a lot of people will probably remember it. But
Yeah.
it did have its fair share of trying to market things. Like you'd also, if you took a photo of yourself, you can also like make a photo of you becoming the Thing, which sounds pretty cool on paper, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like that would go better now since we have more like video and photo filters now that are more easily accessible and more
Oh
easily
yeah,
applied.
definitely.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, those are the three horror.
those are all
Those are
very cool marketing stories.
Oh yeah, but yeah, those are my three marketing stories. Horror movie marketing stories. The Aqua Teen one was the biggest one I thought was going to be the big
Yeah,
one because that
it's.
again.
I think I might be a little bit biased here because I am such a big horror fan, but I feel like some of the most creative marketing stuff is in horror.
That's
Like
true.
those.
Yeah.
Hell, one of the biggest marketing people in the history of movies is William Castle, who we talked about before recording. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
Well, if you look at some of the stuff that he did, this was back in the 1950s, where it's like he actually took out life insurance policies for his audience if they died of fright in the theater.
And they had like
Um,
nurses outside the lobby.
yeah, then there fake nurses outside the lobby. They had there was this one movie where they would make it so like the skeleton would fly around in the theater during some scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember hearing a story that when a lot of like kids found out that that would happen, they would bring their slingshots to the movie theater, see if they would knock it, if they could knock it down.
Oh, I didn't read about that. Like I knew about the skeletons, but I didn't know kids would freaking do that.
No, no,
Honestly, if
kids
they
would do
did that
that.
nowadays, well, if they did that while I was working at the movies, I'd probably have a terrible time.
You'd probably quit.
Yeah. Again, if we
But
do
yeah,
do
I
an
think
episode about
there's
movies,
also there was also a I have to try to explain this in a way where it doesn't sound dirty, but
let's
there
hear it.
was a one of William Castle's movies. I forget which one it was, but it was basically so where they would have theaters outfit the theater seats with things that vibrated, and so that whenever a certain scene came up, your chair would vibrate. You know, to kind of almost kind of like what you would go see now if you went to go see a movie in the 4DX format, where like your chair would vibrate and move around. That was kind of like an early version of that. But they had like a button where you could like press it and it would stop. Um, but yeah, William Castle was a guy where it's like a lot of his movies they didn't always do well necessarily because they were good movies. Because like a lot of his movies aren't particularly well remembered for being good. I mean, they weren't really anything special, but the marketing gimmicks and campaigns around them were often very unique and very memorable.
Oh dang, yeah. I read a little bit about them. I read a little bit of it. I didn't read all of them though, but I read a little bit. It's a hell of a way to do it.
Hey, it gets eyes on your
Um,
movie, right? Which is the whole point of marketing. You
yeah,
know,
and
because if you
well,
because the whole point of marketing is to get eyes on your product.
while we're still talking about horror movie marketing, Paranormal Activity. They were like one of the few. They were the first. I think they were one of the first movies to show audience reactions.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think How It Should Have Ended even did a parody of it when they did the How It Should Have Ended episode for Paranormal Activity, where like the post credits scene is just one of the people in the audience fell asleep, and right as the screen is like, huh, what? Oh, and it goes back to sleep.
I think I remember
Yeah.
seeing that a long time ago. It's been a long time since I watched How It Should Have Ended.
Oh yeah, they're still around. They're still doing things,
Yeah,
but it's
they're
mostly
still
just
showing.
they're just mostly doing big movies.
Yeah, which I think is a little boring personally, but hey, you gotta do what you
Yeah,
gotta do to pay the bills.
that's true. I mean, heck, I mean, they're taking a bunch of sponsors too.
Yeah, well, good for them. I'm glad to see they're still
Yeah,
going.
you gotta make that moolah.
Yep.
Anyways, Tim, do you know any like crazy marketing stunts or just the basics?
Just basic kind of stuff. I haven't been able to like go to movies, because I haven't had the money or a job at the time. So going to movies was pretty rare for me, growing up and stuff. So I only got to. I know the first SpongeBob movie. I remember that so vividly, because the marketing was crazy. I remember that I had a 7-Eleven SpongeBob shaped plastic cup promote the SpongeBob movie at the time. Like, I was 9 years old because I was so obsessed with SpongeBob at the time. I got a lot of merchandising from the movie. I mean, that movie was promoted like crazy. I remember so vividly. I got to see it in the movies, and my dad fell asleep in the theater, of course, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I had quite a bit of merchandise growing up. I mean, all that
Dang.
stuff is gone now, and probably worth a lot of money now. But I don't have that cup anymore. I don't know what the hell happened to it, but I know
I
that
don't know.
it was marketed like
Hey, dude,
TV.
that's
But no, I mean, I don't know if
that's
I don't know how much SpongeBob merch goes for, but sorry, I don't know how much SpongeBob merch goes for now. So anyways, sorry, Drew, keep talking. I did not mean to be rude.
hey,
Keep talking.
that's another form of marketing, right? Merchandising. How have we not talked about merchandising yet? Like that is so
Merchandising, where the real money movie is made. Sorry, I had to plug in that
exactly.
Spaceballs quote. That
Well, hey, Spaceballs is a parody of Star Wars, right? And that's probably the biggest
Yeah.
example of how Fox didn't let George Lucas. Do you want to know why George Lucas is so rich? It's because Fox let him have the merchandising rights because they didn't
Oh yeah.
care. Because they thought, oh, this movie is going to be some stupid kids movie. We'll just let this guy have most of the merchandising rights, and he
Oh
ended
yeah.
up making a fortune because of it.
Yeah, I mean,
And how
even when the prequels were happening, merchandising was the biggest marketing gimmick of the toys and stuff.
And same thing with the newer movies. And it's like, hell, my favorite movie of all time, Jaws, is kind of the first movie that had that kind of big merchandising push for marketing
Oh yeah.
back in
Um.
1975. Because like that was one of the first movies to have like T-shirts printed and hats and mugs and all this stuff.
Mhm.
Because to my knowledge, film merchandising wasn't really a big thing before that, but
Oh yeah.
Jaws and as well as Star Wars kind of changed that.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Merchandising is definitely a big part of movies, especially like with like animated kids movies or big franchise movies.
Or
I
any
mean,
movies. I mean, hell, I have a decent amount of movie merchandise. I've got a Psycho hoodie. I have a Nightmare on Elm Street T-shirt. I have
nice.
several Star Wars T-shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my merchandise is from like bands and stuff, but that applies to movies as well.
Hmm.
As
I don't know.
well,
This is not
hell,
really. This is
dude,
not really an official.
movie posters are also merchandise because I've got that Nightmare on Elm Street poster. I've got a Friday the 13th final chapter poster. I've got a
Hmm.
I've got a Creep Show poster. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a Creep
Is it?
Show
Is it? Oh, I see it.
poster.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it now.
I
It's
have
all
I
about
have
Magnus.
I've got two Creep Show posters. The other one I don't have hanging up. I also have a poster for John Carpenter's The Fog, which I think is a pretty
Nice.
underrated movie.
That's
I don't
cool.
have it hanging up because I only have so much space in here, but
Oh yeah.
I got quite a bit.
Yeah. That's neat. I have like a so one of my Christmas gifts was I can show it to you right now, but it's on my shelf. It's literally just it's like a Lego Wally. Like it's like yay big, and then I thought it was really cool, so I asked for it for Christmas, and like Wally's a good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another
I'll
blast in the past.
yeah.
Um,
I mean I
but
can
yeah,
show
again,
I
I mean, if you
so
want
you
to show it,
first.
sure. If you want to show it,
All
sure.
right, yeah. Time to flex. Hang on, BRB. Talk amongst
All right.
yourselves.
Okay. All right. Oh,
There he is. I can't hear you, Drew, because I have my headphones off, but the audience can hear me.
ooh, that's
But
cool.
yeah, here he is.
That
I
is
had him
cool.
holding things earlier, so
I mean, hell, things like action figures and Legos and all that stuff. Again, it's more marketing for movies.
yeah. Yep. It is. It's
Hell, that's a SpongeBob example that Tim was talking about. I remember having, I think it was from, I think it was like a Burger King toy or something, where I had
oh right, yeah.
Patrick in the Patty Mobile, whatever it was called, the
Mhm.
Krabby Patty car. I forget what it was called,
Yeah.
but you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
By the way,
had a lot of fun from Burger King. Yeah, I did
yeah,
back when the
there was
movie
a
was
yeah.
promoted.
McDonald's was like McDonald's and Burger King, like fast food joints. They were easy to like give like little cheap toys to. Like I remember having a Chicken Little McDonald's toys, but I don't have them anymore.
Yeah, I don't have any of my McDonald's
Yeah,
toys either. So
Yeah, and then
trust me,
those are
I
and
long
then
gone.
bought practically.
I know Surf's Up and Happy Feet did like collabs with Build a Bear, so you can like make your own stuffed penguin. Yeah. And if you also wanted, you can get a voice box of Shia LaBeouf because he
Why
was
the
in
hell would
Surf's
I
Up.
want that? Why the hell would I want that?
Well, you make a good point, especially if you've seen the musical actual cannibal. It's not really musical; it's just a YouTube video. Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Have you seen that?
No.
It's just it's a video where it's like these guys are singing like an opera about Shia LaBeouf being a murderous to cannibal.
Well, on
Yeah.
that note,
Sorry.
Does anybody else
Okay.
have anything to talk about as far as movie marketing? Because I think we're over an hour at this point now.
I got one more, and this is Simpsons movie. The Simpsons
Ooh,
movie.
okay. I'm interested.
A bunch of 7-Elevens became Quickie Marts.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I remember that. Oh God,
Yeah.
I remember going there back in '07 when it first came out. I loved it, of course.
I
Still a
wanted to
young
see
kid
that,
at the
but my
time.
mom would not let me. My mom would
Yeah,
not. My mom hated The
I
Simpsons, and she would not let me watch it.
yeah, I saw that
I
movie in
yeah,
theaters. I think when me and my family were vacationing in Tennessee, because I have extended family there.
Mhm.
That's when it was either Tennessee or Oklahoma, one of those two states. But yeah, I had family in one of those states, and me and my dad went and saw it one day. Actually, no, it was when I was still living in New Jersey. We were vacationing here in California because of family reasons, and me and my
Yeah.
dad saw it, and it was really, really good, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my DVD somewhere. It probably doesn't work anymore because I used to take pretty
Mm.
shitty care of my DVD discs, but I'm sure I
Yeah.
still have it somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm too emotionally attached to it to get rid of it.
Yeah. And while we're on talk of The Simpsons, the teasers were absolutely insane because they like I remember one of the teasers had showcased like generic animated movie of bunnies dancing with flowers.
Yeah.
Title screen comes in very violently, probably kills several of the animated characters, and Mo comes up saying, "The Simpsons movie in 2D. I don't think the rabbit's breathing." And the only scene you see is like the scene of Homer, freaking like on the roof, and I think it ends with a scene that didn't make it in the final cut where he falls through the roof because I've seen the Simpsons movie like 3 times now as an adult, and that scene of him falling through the roof did not make it in the film, if I remember correctly.
Unfortunate.
yeah. I bet you guys don't know about this, but Aqua Teen Hunger Force promoted the Simpsons movie, but everybody's an Aqua Teen character on it. Do you guys
No
remember
way.
that?
I don't
No.
remember that
Like
at all.
all the
No.
Aqua Teen characters were dressed up, were it's literally a parody. Like everyone's just, or Homer is Carl, and Lisa is Frylock, and Bart is
I'm
Shake,
looking
and
this up. Oh,
yeah,
it's
I
real.
remember seeing
It's
it
real.
on.
Holy, it's lost media. It's real.
Yeah, that sounds like something that
Yeah,
the
I
Simpsons would
remember
do.
seeing it on TV at the time.
Was it
It
on?
Yeah.
was on commercials.
Yeah, was it on commercials for Adult Swim or Fox or something like that?
Yeah,
Uh, Probably
obviously.
Adult
I mean, they
Swim.
were promoting it, so yeah, it was back on Adult Swim back when it was on cable.
Story.
I remember watching that commercial specifically, so that's why
It,
I'm bringing this up. So
to quote the pilot, to quote one of the early pilots of Rick and Morty. Oh no, it's real. Sorry, I thought that was funnier. That was funnier in my head. But no, that's crazy. It's actually real. Holy smokes. But well, since you've decided to bring me back to Aqua Teen, I have to mention something that didn't get the studio in trouble. So
Okay.
during One Night in Adult Swim, they had the entire Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie play in the bottom right of the screen, like very tiny, like yeah, they had the entire movie. So like, if you're watching like Family Guy reruns, the entire movie just played in the bottom right of the screen, and you can only hear the movie sounds if you switched your TV settings differently. Like that is a real
That's
thing they
interesting.
did.
That's interesting.
And one more thing. This one I just remembered.
Okay.
For the Lego Movie 2, after they played a commercial for it on YouTube, if you didn't skip the ad, you could watch the entire first Lego Movie as long as you don't skip the ad.
Damn.
They literally put
That's
the entire
cool.
they literally put the entire Lego Movie in an ad just to market the Lego Movie 2.
Yeah. If I liked that movie more, I probably would do that. But I mean, Lego
I
movie
know
was good.
one of my friends went all the way through, and
Yeah. I saw the Lego movie when it came out in theaters. I thought it was good.
I liked it.
I really don't like that "Everything Is Awesome" song.
So you're one of the master builders who rebelled against Lord Business.
No, it's just that because my fucking brother and one of his friends, because that's who we went to go see the movie. I went to go see the movie with. The whole car ride home, they would just be singing that goddamn song, and it was so annoying.
Sorry to hear that. But yeah, sorry, I was just making a joke earlier because in the movie, Lord Business creates all this stuff to control the Lego people.
Yeah. I remember.
But yeah, that's all I got for movie marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to kind of talk about all the things that I wanted to hit on.
I could,
Anybody thought
oh wait,
anybody got any closing
one
thoughts?
last one.
Okay.
The Dark Knight.
What about the Dark
I
Knight?
watched a YouTube video about it. I sent Tim a YouTube video about it. I don't know if you know about it, Drew, but they made an entire ARG game of the Dark Knight, augmented reality. Where
Oh yeah,
essential,
I think yeah.
like,
Yeah, because
like
those were kind of somewhat prevalent at that time, where like you had your phone and you would be, blasting
yeah, but
things or
no,
whatever.
it was more than just a phone thing. Like at Comic-Con, people found like $1 bills with like the Joker marked on George Washington, and like the
Yeah, I
bottom said
remember
"Why So
that.
Serious."
Yeah, I remember
And then
that.
and then like there was a Believe Harvey Dent website where eventually got more to store into a Joker thing, and then freaking I think one of the like I think one guy, shit, I don't know, like dude, it was so freaking elaborate, man. Like it was unreal.
Yeah, I remember some of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that I figured we need to bring that up real quickly before the comments call us up on that. By the way, hi comment section. Do tell me what that one movie I was thinking of. Seriously, I can't be Mandela Effect forever, but yeah, that's all I got.
All right. So anybody got any closing thoughts? We should probably wrap this up pretty soon, anyways.
Yeah, go see our future movies whenever we make them. Also, like, comment, subscribe. But that's all I got.
All right. Well, please like, comment,
Thank you,
subscribe, everybody.
Yeah, thanks you everybody for tuning into another lovely episode of Movie Mortis. I've been Nick.
I've been Drew.
And I'm Tim.
Yeah, we hope to see you in another video. Bye, have a good night, drink plenty of water, and stay beautiful.